We now take you to the broadcast of It's Time with Reverend Nathaniel W. Martin. Here's Reverend Martin.
All right, thank you, Dr. Blackwell. Let me say Hotep for Baragani, Ubuntu, new word I've learned. That was not a new word I've learned, but I'll just throw that in there too. I am because you are because I am, we are. Because we are in that sense of community, we must pull together. We must pull together. To my Africana Studies contemporaries, colleagues, allies, friends, and seekers after the truth all. And let me hasten on to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, but certainly never good night and never ever goodbye, because I always personally found goodbyes to be traumatizing. My name is the Reverend Nathaniel Wayne Martin. I'm the pastor of the New Life Institutional Baptist Church here in the city of Los Angeles, and we're located, our address is 8916 South Main Street. We're being hosted by our sister church, the Shiloh Missionary Christian Church, of whom my good friend, the Reverend Dr. Adela F. Hollinas, is the proud pastor, and continue to lift all clergy and ministers as we are up in prayer, because we need your prayers, all right? And you pray for me, as the song says, and I will pray for you, all right? Because we need each other. All right, I'll pray for you and you pray for me. This is a social justice broadcast offering, and I say that before I started hooping and hollering, because we try to stay away from the hoopalistics and give you a concise and comprehensive facts in the 29 minutes that we are allotted. Okay. All right. Again, when you put in 8916 South Main Street, Los Angeles, the church is going to come up, white building, says Shiloh Missionary Christian Church at the top, and if you look right down there, you will see New Life Institutional Baptist Church. Be that as it may, we are there. Come on over and worship with us. We'll be so happy to see your face in the place. Just let the ushers or myself know that you heard about us over KTYM News Media. All right. Now let's get to our scriptures. We have two scriptures from the New Testament. Two scriptures from the Old Testament, and two scriptures from the New Testament. I don't believe you can have the new without the old. I don't believe you have old without the new. You got to have them both. All right. In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 15, it says, "That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And God requireth that which is past." And it goes on to say, verse 16, "And moreover I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there." And surely you can look at our present government, federal government, at least at the federal level, and you can see the application of this beautiful observation that God has placed here in the book of Ecclesiastes. Our second Old Testament scripture is one that I cherish. I learned it when I first came into the ministry and was studying. It was a scripture that was placed on a chart, on the glass, on a coffee table. I see it every night or every day. And it's from Micah 6 and 8, and this is what it says: "He hath shown thee, O man, what is good, and what doth the Lord require of thee, but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with thy God. I'm going to move on to Luke's house, Luke chapter 12, the first verse. But the last clause of that first verse, that 12th chapter, first verse of Luke, it says, Jesus instructing his disciples says, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. And then, of course, in our catch-all scripture, scripture for all seasons, for all times, Ephesians chapter 6, verses 11 and 12. And this is what it says. Put on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And verse number 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. And of course, we see the evidence of this in all of the governments that are around the world, in all of the so-called notable personalities that are pushing their perceptions and their agendas upon the general public and imposing their will upon society. Principalities, powers, the rulers of the darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places. We are engaged and enmeshed and involved like a matrix, like a network, like a structure, like a skein. We are involved in all of that and must find our way out of this maze of principalities and powers and the rulers of the darkness of this world and spiritual wickedness in high places. And how are you going to do it? You're going to put on the whole armor of God. I forgot to say that. You got to always have on the whole armor, because you are involved and engaged in a fight, and you didn't even know it was a fight. You're being assaulted and mugged and robbed, embezzled at every turn. You don't even know that the crook is around. And so you need all the armor of God with no chinks and no cracks, because the enemy will come in through your emotions, or through your pride, or through your fears, and through your desire for luxury, and will overthrow you if you're not careful. All right, now that we have set the plate, let's look at what we are dealing with here in the cost of the war in lives and treasure. I will not deal with the lives and treasure, the low number of only 13 people have been killed. You know that's a lie by now. And if you don't, sooner or later it's going to come out. But I don't expect the current administration to be that honest and to let you know that how many people that they have lost. You notice you haven't seen the so-called pilot that they went in and rescued, and the first one that you say was up in the mountain. I haven't seen him or her. Have you? All right. Look like if they would got a hero like that, they would be willing to come forward. Look here. Here's the hero we rescued. Give him some applause. That kind of stuff. And I think they said it was a woman pilot, and but yet I haven't seen that woman pilot. And so I said all of that to go to the fact that it's going to take a long time before you can make this government honestly let you see those flag-draped coffins that keep coming in in the airport out there. I think it was under George Bush that they stopped allowing you to see the return of the remains of our fallen heroes and sheroes. Okay, well, let me get to what I'm getting. So I'm dealing with the treasure, lives and treasure. I can't get a good record of the lives, so I'm going to deal with it from the aspect of the treasure. The cost of military weapons, and for instance, we lost an Apache helicopter this week. That's treasure. It says here that the cost of an Apache helicopter ranges from $35 million to over $100 million for one Apache helicopter, depending on the variant, including weaponry and support packages. So I thought, you know, if it was a helicopter, it didn't cost much. But these helicopters, these Apache, these war helicopters, military helicopters, are very, very expensive. And I know they should not be that expensive, but the military-industrial complex sets the prices. And they got their friends all through the Pentagon and all up in Congress. And we can't, the United States taxpayer cannot catch a break on the cost of these items. It says the AH-64E Apache Guardian, the latest model, has a base flyaway cost of $35 million to $50 million for the aircraft that just is not outfitted with nothing, while the international packages that include weapons, maintenance, and pilot training can exceed $100 million per unit. And older units such as the AH-64D Longbow have been sold at prices ranging from $52 million to $178 million for one helicopter. And we had that one go down depending on the deal and included systems. All right. It says here that early models in the 1980s cost between $50 million and $60 million, though these have since been upgraded or replaced. All right. It says the total cost of an Apache helicopter depends on several factors: variant and configuration. That means, is it going to be a helicopter over land? Is a helicopter going over the ocean? Is it going to be an attack helicopter? Is it going to be outfitted with missiles? All of that other stuff. And I know I used to love to see that helicopter coming when I was over there in Vietnam. We started strafing the bushes and the hillside with those machine guns. I was glad to see it. All right. And one other thing I wanted to mention about that. A single Apache helicopter carries 16 Hellfire missiles and a 30 millimeter chain gun, providing more lethality than several ground units combined. It says military analysts argue that one helicopter can dismantle an entire tank column, justifying its high individual cost. And we just lost one of those, and yet they claim they got the pilots back. But that might be just smoke and mirrors. They may be just telling you that to calm your fears and everything. Because who's in that seat there? Why, it is the chief liar. The chief liar. And he had the nerve to call somebody a thug this week in an interview. And I said, how can you call anybody a thug when you are the chiefest of thugs that ever graced that office? All right, let me go back to what I was looking at. I'm looking at the cost of the war. And as I said, we can't get a clear record on the lives that have been lost or the wounded, but you can't have a war and don't have killed and injured. That's two columns that go together, KIA and WIA, killed in action and wounded in action. We barely getting the killed in action since they talked about the 13 people. So we have to concentrate on what we can get some background information on. I use the drop site. I use Jeremy Scahill. He's a very good source. And I listened to Dr. Colonel Lawrence Wilkerson, who served under President Barack Obama, and Colonel Larry Johnson, who also served in the Joint Chiefs of Staff there. And so they do a lot of background. And then there's a female colonel named Karen Kwiatkowski. Starts with a K on the end, KWIA, KWOSKI, I think. One of those type of names. Lieutenant Colonel Karen Kwiatkowski. Anyway, here's what I have gleaned. The cost of military weapons used in the Iran war has been significant, with the Pentagon acting comptroller stating that the conflict has cost about $25 billion so far. And that was way back in April. Now we're at the end of June. And I can say parenthetically that we have lost 43 aircraft. And some of those aircraft cost $135 million for one aircraft, especially that F-35. And we have lost, I think, recently we had 5 that were in Kuwait in the hangar that the Iranian bombed, fired a missile at, took out the hangar and took out the planes. That's 5 F-35s at $100 to $135 million per plane on the ground, and they have been damaged or destroyed. All right, and thank God all the planes, aircraft don't cost the same amount. For instance, those C-130s that they used in Iran rather, to try to rescue so-called those pilots that were supposedly on the ground, and then those the wheels of the C-130s got bogged down in the ground, and the pilots couldn't fly them out, so they had to destroy. And I think those planes cost about $5 million. That's a base price a piece. And of course, you don't know what those transport, how they were outfitted, you know what I mean? And so then they had to bring in 2 more C-130s to get those troops. And those troops were claimed that they were going to try to get the pilots. But you and I know that they were really trying to go get that nuclear material. But the Iranians evidently beat them back. And that's why I'm saying you can't go by our news media, because ABC, CBS, NBC have all been purchased by people who have no interest in you getting the real news. CNN is purchased by Mr. Ellison, and the other that used to be very reliable institutions. You know, they always say the first victim of war is the truth, and when we see the broadcast mediums being taken over, then you know that things are not going well. But I digress. Let me get back to what I'm saying. Let's see. It says here, $25 billion so far, mostly due to the thousands of munitions used to strike more than 13,000 targets. Now, if you striking more than 13,000 targets. Now you're using up a lot of ordnance. All right, it says here the military has burned through scarce munitions during the war, including more than 850 Tomahawk cruise missiles. Now the date on this was in March. We're now in June, okay? And I did a report some few weeks ago based off of this same Center for Strategic and International Studies that said that the United States had fired over 1,000 Tomahawks and 1,100 interceptors. And the cheapest that you can buy one of these Tomahawk missiles or interceptors, the cheapest one you're going to get is $2.5 million. That's million with an M. And they've been firing those things off like firecrackers. In the first 3 weeks, they fired off 1,000 Tomahawk missiles. In the first 3 weeks, they fired off 1,100 interceptor missiles. Why are they firing those off? Because instead of the enemy, the Iranians, shooting one missile, they shoot clusters of missiles. In other words, instead of shooting one missile, they might shoot 25 or 50. And then the Iron Dome over Israel, they got Tomahawks, all right? All of the ships and then a lot of the planes got Tomahawk missiles. Okay, principally, listen to me now, when the Iranians would attack Israel or Kuwait or Bahrain or that luxury town that I can't think of the name right now, Dubai, or any of those places, well, what they have to do, they're triggered automatically. Okay, here goes a $2 million Tomahawk missile to go up there and try to do what? Knock out a $20,000 drone. And they say it takes about 2 Tomahawk missiles to knock out one drone. So that's 2 times $2.5 million. This week they fired 49. That's not included in this report that I'm looking at. 49 Tomahawk missiles. 49. That's 49 times $2.5 million each, minimum. And it says that we spent over $176 million just trying to shoot drones this week. And the Iraqi drones cost between $20,000 to $50,000. That's on the high end. But look how much ordnance the United States is having to expend to try to keep up that Iron Dome. And that Iron Dome over Israel has failed because the Iranians don't just shoot no one ballistic missile or one drone. They send 50. Then here come another 25. Then here come 100. And this week it says that they struck Haifa and Tel Aviv so many times that the Israelis don't have no more interceptors. And that's the reason why I'm going after this reporting, because our news outlets are not giving you us the true facts of what it is costing us. All right. It says here, air defense interceptors. The rate of fire has concerned some officials in the Pentagon, fearful that the military is eroding its readiness for potential future conflict. The war was costing well over $1 billion a day, easily putting its total price tag at more than $40 billion so far, according to Senator Chris Coons. The Trump administration's record-breaking annual defense budget request includes $1.5 with a T trillion dollars in total defense spending, with a portion of the request going toward energizing the United States defense industrial base and building critical munitions for the military. I'm going to keep on. It says the administration is expected to seek additional funding for the war in Iran with a reduced supplemental request of $80 billion to $100 billion. In the event of Chinese aggression, 5 minutes? All right. In the event of Chinese aggression against Taiwan, they would be vital. With a pre-war stock of about 2,300 and an estimated 786 were fired. With a pre-war stock of about 2,300, an estimated 786 were fired during the first 6 days of the Iran conflict, and at least 1,000 have been used to date. Lockheed Martin was scheduled to produce around 400. Only 400 this year, but could ramp up production to twice that amount, which means 400 to 800. They cost, what they're saying here is $1.5 million each. I guess the United States is buying so many of them that they're getting a break on the price. All right. Other systems, including Tomahawk missiles and Patriot interceptors, which are even scarcer, have also been used heavily in Iran. Listen to this. A Japanese order for 400 Tomahawks, which is 1 year's worth of Tomahawks production by Lockheed Martin. Crucial for countering China and North Korea, faces a delay because of depleted U.S. stockpiles. All right. Allied orders also need to be filled. The 400 missiles due to Japan reportedly may be delayed as the Department of Defense prioritizing refilling U.S. stockpiles. Remember, we're supplying Ukraine, we're supplying Israel, and then we got all these other countries that are buying our armaments. There was a movie once said, war is big business and business is good. They're making money hand over fist. And don't fool yourself. These salespeople for these munitions manufacturers have no loyalty to the United States of America. None. They will sell it to Israel. They will sell it to Australia. They will sell it to anybody that want to buy. They put that money in their pocket. And so that's why they're worried. The people at the Pentagon are worried. The clear-headed ones, not Peter Hegseth. But the people that really know how to count beans, they're worried because it takes a long time to replace and to get back to the pre-war stage, or capacity rather, of these missiles. I got a report here, a sheet here, that says that it's going to be early 2030. In other words, if the United States put their order in now, the delivery won't begin until 2030. That's a long time. This is 2026, child. And now they're talking about 2030 before they actually begin to deliver. And this war has been going on not even a year yet. It started in June of last year, had a pause. Then it started back in February of this year, and it's been going off and on all the way down to today, June 12, 2026. So that's where our money is going, and no, things ain't not well. And this president run all of his businesses into bankruptcy. You think he's not going to run this country into bankruptcy? All right. If you're working on a job and they don't want to pay you, don't do like Donald Trump. Don't take them to court. If they don't want to pay you, in the first place, don't work for them. Thank you, Doc. We out of here. Love you. Keep the faith. Keep hope alive.